Miss, it's me, and I'm going to be presenting my project on human trafficking. I just wanted to prove that it's actually me speaking and this is actually my work. So yeah, here we go. I hope that this is good enough so that you could actually see like this. Okay. So hi Miss, today I'm going to be presenting my part on human trafficking. My focus is going to be on the methods and reasonings on why the pimps actually traffic girls. Yeah, let's just get into it. So the first thing I want to state before I even begin is that my part during our group project was inclusiveness. So I just want to state that inclusiveness is actually the fact of deliberately including people, things, ideas from all sections of society, points of view. And this is from Oxford English Dictionaries. On the right, we can actually see, a group of people who are different in race, gender, age, sex, and we just want to say that human trafficking applies not only to young girls, but it can apply to, young boys, older women, and participants in it, the pimps are usually older men, and the guys who use the girls are usually older men. So the demographic for human trafficking is just very broad. Even though the victims are mostly girls, there are a lot of people involved, and it's not really secluded to like one race, So this is the victims can be of all ages, gender identification, sexual orientation, and ethnic background. Once again, I just want to stress that it's not only women that are victims, and it's not only men that are perpetrators. You see on the left, there are actually a group of women who were a part of a sex ring. And basically what these women did was they would lure like new immigrants to America, and they would be like, oh, come work at my nail salon, come work here, I'll give you pay, I'll give you housing. And in the end, like, they just force the girls into human trafficking and have sex with other men. So yeah, these girls are the criminals, and in the US, there's cases of boys who are in human trafficking. It's just continuing to rise. Yeah, so here is just, I wanted to say that human trafficking is actually a huge industry. It's a $150 billion industry, and there are 21 million victims worldwide. Pimps can earn up to $280,000 per girl per year. And we just want to say that, is there a slave in your neighborhood? Meaning that, these girls are really, they're not hidden, they're really in the open. They could be walking down the street, they could be in your class, anything like that. So it's really possible. Just have to look out to see if there are any showing signs of bruising, of abuse, of a change of a change of like behavior. So if they're acting different, talking different, maybe something's up. They're around that age now. So yeah, so we just want to say these are one of the reasons, the main reasons why pimps actually traffic women. It's kind of like when you think of human trafficking, you think of like these girls are for sex, but there are some extreme cases where these women are actually killed and they are sold as slaves, or their organs are actually sold. So example here, a Pakistani woman would cost $342, a Nepalese woman would cost $975, a Romanian girl would cost from $3,000 to $6,000. So these girls are not only targeted for sex, they're targeted for sale. It's really, on the black market, on these third world countries, it's really hard to actually check and regulate this kind of business. And even here, we've all heard the horror stories of you waking up in a bathtub with, your kidneys cut off. That's something that happens. These girls are lured, and, their body parts are sold. So the cornea, the lungs, the heart, the liver, the kidneys, they could each fetch up to $100,000 per organ. So, right. Now, this is actually a book that I read in high school. It's called On the Game. You can't really see it, but it says On the Game. And it's by Monique Polak. She's an English teacher at Marianopolis now. And basically, it's based on a real-life story of a real girl in Montreal who was caught up in the human trafficking here. So let me just read you this little part. There's nothing more exciting than being young and in love, especially when the object of your attraction is another guy who showers you with gifts and attention. But when Yolande's new boyfriend Etienne asks her to go on a date with another guy, it becomes clear that his love comes at a terrible price. Inspired by the true events, On the Game follows one extraordinary girl on one extraordinary journey into the dark world of teenage prostitution. So yeah, going back to what it said, object affection is older guy who showers you with gifts and attention. That is exactly what the pimps try to do to lure these young girls, because these girls are of like ages 12, 13, 14, 15. They're easily manipulated because these are new experiences, young romance, a guy who's gonna buy you stuff. He could drive. He could take care of me. He could give me a place to stay. You know, he has his own apartment. All of these stuff is how these pimps, they see vulnerable women. They could spot it right away. You know, they'll be lurking around bus stations, train terminals. They'll just be stalking for these girls, and once they find a girl who they find is easily manipulated, that's what they do. They get close to you, they become your boyfriend, and eventually, you know, do you love me? Yeah, you're gonna have to do all of this. Yeah, like I stated before, this is just more, you know, what to look out for. So visible injuries, evidence of being controlled, manipulation, any broken bones. Yeah, it's the odds of us actually have been walking down the street and seeing a girl who has been a part of human trafficking is very, very, very common. So I just want to state that these girls are not criminals, they are hostages. So the average age of entry into the industry would be 12 to 14. They could sleep up to with 20 men a night. They are threatened at gunpoint. A lot of them come out of the foster care system. They want a warm place to stay. They run away from home. And these pimps, you know, they just stand around bus terminals, metro stations, you know, Grand Central Station. They see one girl by herself, lonely. They approach and, you know, they're trying to coerce you into this. So now with internet and social media, you know, girls could be looking for a sugar daddy, or they go on Backpage.com. These sites are just rabbit holes. You know, you go on it and then you go deeper and deeper. You think you're gonna get paid, these guys are gonna buy you stuff, and you're not gonna have to have sex. But yeah, and eventually you're gonna become dependent on these people, and that's how they take advantage of you. In the bottom it says a certain quota must be met. That's actually because some pimps tell the girls that they have a certain, you know, let's say you have to earn me $400 a night. And if the girl doesn't earn $400 that specific night, you know, she'll get beaten or she'll get abused. A lot of the times I watched a video and this pimp basically said, oh, well, what would you do if she made 500? Would you take all 500? Would you give her 400? He said, yeah, I'll give her the 400 because she still needs to buy dope off of me. Meaning, you know, these guys, they get these girls dependent on drugs. They make them take heroin. They make them take coke. Eventually, these girls become addicted, and their only supplier is the pimp. So they have no choice. You know, they're dependent on the drugs. They're dependent on the pimp. They're dependent on this lifestyle. So basically, for the people that use these girls, that's actually a pimp. You know, doctors, lawyers, officers, anyone, you know, could be using these girls. Up to 1,000 men a night, you know, sleep with these underage girls. In Nevada, prostitution is legal. Although it doesn't stop the underage prostitution, it could be a good sign, although, you know, it'd be more open, more publicized. They get the girls hooked on drugs. One of these girls said, you know, you're the first person to buy me a cake. See, they just prey on these innocent girls who are new to these experiences. And they gain trust. They become your boyfriend, girlfriends. Social media plays a big part. You know, you could be on Instagram, get catfished. That's how they lure these girls. And just to reiterate, you know, it's one of the world's fastest growing crimes. And its sex trafficking is the biggest. And it could bring in up to $99 billion a year. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.